Hey, welcome back to the Man vs. Weed Cannabis Review Podcast. Every episode, we choose a strain from the cannabis store and see if it can compare to the legacy market. I go by Tango Hotel Charlie on Twitter, so follow me at Street Villain, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and call your grandmother. She misses you. I'm a 30-year cannabis veteran, and I've grown it, I've cooked it, I've concentrated it, I've done just about everything there is to do with it. I use it for a variety of things, primarily for PTSD, so I know the plant very well. But don't misunderstand. I'm not claiming to be a master grower or a cannabis guru. I'm just another asshole with a podcast, two elbows, and an opinion. Today we're looking at Sativa by Pure Sunfarms. I had heard a lot about them, and they're located near where I grew up, which is in Delta, BC. I got family down there, so I wanted to check them out. I also heard they're very fairly priced, and everybody knows that's important, right? According to the site, it is 14 to 16% THC and 0 to 1% CBD, with aromas ranging from fresh to fruity. It then says some sort of aroma range. Like, you gotta take a look at that. Go to the website and check it out. Look at their terpene, because it's ridiculous. Anyways, it says aroma range with a line that has a dot on either end, and on one dot it says fruit, and on the other end it says fresh. What? What does that mean? That's all the info there is on terps. There's no percentages, there's no nothing. It's very strange. Aromas ranging from fresh to fruity. I can't wait to taste the fresh. I mean, what does fresh taste like? Although since the package date is June 2020, I have my doubts. So, all that ambiguity, it turns out, is because Sativa is part of a classic collection, along with Indica, Hybrid, and Balance, whatever Balance means. Basically, they print a bunch of bags that say Sativa, and then throw whatever kind of cannabis they like in there. Presumably, Sativa. I mean, I hope you're getting what it says on there, but you just got to take their word for it, I guess. Which means that a bag of Sativa you got last time might not be what you get this time. This is a problem if consistency is something you value, and you should. But hey, they're only doing it to keep prices low for you. The packaging is a Ziploc sack. No adult-proof plastic jar here. And that is good. However, all positivity withered like trichomes on an E-beam when I opened the bag. It looked like crumbs in the bottom of an actual ounce. Most of it wasn't even popcorn sized, more like peas. The trim job is terrible. Fan leaves, stems all over the place. Pale green and brown bud crumbles. I felt like a kid getting socks in the biggest box under the tree. The buds were so dry they crumbled when handled. I looked at it under the microscope, and the trichomes looked frazzled and withered. This is likely caused by irradiation. I asked them, but I haven't received word back. The trichomes were small and ambers were present. The trichomes are the medicine, and amber can indicate late harvest and tends to cause a sleepier effect. But what about that fresh fruity smell? There was no smell at all. I thought maybe after I busted up there might be more smell, so I crushed it in my fingers, and instantly it powdered into a fine sand-like consistency. Not sticky at all, just dusty. No smell still. It almost seemed dead. I rolled it into a joint, and the burn was pretty good. No sputtering. It stayed lit. It was, however, harsh on the throat and nose. The ash looked clean, indicating proper flushing and curing. There was no taste at all until about 3/4 done, when it tasted bitter like aspirin. Yummy. No fresh, no fruit. Just disappointment. I weighed a gram, and because it was so dry, it was a fat cannon of a joint. Despite smoking that massive log, I just wasn't that high. Of course, at $3.50 a gram, you could smoke a couple, but would you want to? After 30 minutes, the high, which seemed to live in my head behind my eyes, I started to wear off quickly. I had been dealing with a headache, and Sativa didn't touch it. I know, folks will argue that I should be happy because it was cheap, but I didn't go looking for cheap weed. I went looking for Pure Sunfarms. I wanted to see what Pure Sunfarms had to offer. And this is what I was presented with. I mean, first impressions only happen once, and as far as I know, this is their best foot forward. Not a good look. Will this convince me to walk away from the quality and the prices on the black market? I don't think so. There you have it. Make sure you look out for the next episode. From now on, my wife will be choosing strains I try. She fully supports cannabis, but doesn't use it. So when she goes into a store, she's a blank slate. Much like a typical customer of the recreational market. So it should be fun. Check it out. I recently ran a poll on Twitter at Street Villain asking the question, when purchasing cannabis, what is the most important thing you care about? I got 458 votes. THC had 33%. Price came in at 30%. Terps at 22%. And other at 16%. Other included things like who the producers are, and do they practice ethical cultivation? Are they diverse, and what types of heavy metals and pesticides are present in their product? THC being on top with price speaks volumes. If you'd like to take part in future discussions like these, make sure you give me a follow at StreetVillain on Twitter. If you have any comments, send them to manvsweedthc@gmail.com. Free the weed.